Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.
Alrighty. Hi, everyone. Welcome to midweek yoga, which is actually on Tuesday night. So maybe it depends on when your week starts as to whether Tuesday is considered the middle of the week or not. Tonight, I was thinking about bringing back a little practice that I had done this summer in the park with some fabulous, wonderful people who reach out to me and often say, hey, that four-part breathing, that square posture really did well for me. So hoping that you guys like that as well. We're going to start in a seated position if that's comfortable for you. I'm actually on a blanket that I've folded. It's probably about 4 inches high. I just kind of like to get my backside up and my knees kind of pointing down towards the mat. If you can't make contact with the mat, no big deal. But maybe you can get your feet one in front of the other, otherwise sitting cross-legged. And you can even sometimes just roll the back of your mat to sit on or take a block and sit on it as well. I just like the blankie for tonight. It's a little bit comfy. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and maybe just take some deep breaths. Maybe on the exhales, making a little noise, a little sigh. Just a little feeling, a little sense of relief to be finally sitting here on our mat, committed to our practice. Just showing up one last time for the day, this time just for ourselves. Imagine, if you will, a box, a square. Your right hip is the bottom right corner of the box, and the left hip is the bottom left corner. And coming across the edge, the bottom of the box, is what connects your two hip bones, your two sits bones. Coming up the sides of the box, the right rib cage is the right side of the box, left rib cage, left side of the box. Coming up to the top corners of the box, which would be each of your shoulders, right corner, right shoulder, left corner, left shoulder. And start to imagine your breathing pattern now. As you inhale, coming up the right side of the box for a count of 4. When you get to the top of the box, imagine you're holding for a count of 4. And then on the exhale, coming down the left side of the box for a count of 4. And trying holding at the bottom for a count of 4 before you inhale again. Sacred square breath, if you will. Again, inhaling for that count of 4 wherever you're at. Holding for the count of 4 at the top of the breath. And slowly exhaling for a count of 4 as you release. Maybe just holding space in the lower part of your body for the breath before you take your next inhale. Again, imagining that the lower half of your body, the bottom of this square. And as you're breathing around the sides, play with it a little. Maybe your square becomes a cube or a box. Just as your body is 3-dimensional, the breath can become 3-dimensional within this 4-part breathing. Maybe inhaling at the front of the box for 4, holding it at the very top of your head, maybe the top of the box for 4, and then releasing down the back of the box, the back of the body for 4, and holding it all along what could be the four edges of your body, at the base of your body. Maybe your knees become the front of the box on the bottom corners, and your hips or your sits bones become the back corners of the box. I'm just playing with these four parts, playing with these counts of four all around your sacred square, your cube, your box, and allowing each of the sides of the body to draw towards the sides of the square or cube or box, and allowing perhaps even the front body and back body to draw towards the front and back of the cube or box. In our postures tonight, I'll be inviting you to draw your right hip towards the right bottom corner of whatever box we're in, whether that's an inversion or a standing pose or a sitting pose, and drawing your left hip towards the left corner. Drawing the right shoulder towards the upper right corner and the left shoulder towards the upper left corner. Creating a nice space for your breath, for your posture. Most of all, finding stability, alignment, and even height as you reach your head out and up from the top of the square or box or cube. When you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, just reaching the arms up for a nice long inhale. Nice stretch of the elbows, making sure not to overextend the shoulders, maybe opening up the fingers, all the digits of the hands, really stretching out the palms, nice breaths in and out as we reach, maybe even finding a little wiggle in the hips as the box reaches taller, up above our shoulders, up to the ceiling. And on the exhale, the palms come towards the floor. Fingertips just touch the mat for an instant. And once again, we turn the palms up for the inhale overhead. And then the exhale, fingertips come down towards the mat. Really feeling that three-dimensional breath as we inhale to the top of the box and exhale and release. You can forget about the four counts now and just maybe come into your own natural breathing pattern. So you might be a little bit faster. You might just come a little bit slower, depending on where you're at. When you're ready, arms are going to stay at the top. We're going to lower that left hand or left fingertips, down to the mat. We're just going to walk those fingertips out to the left side. Get a nice little bend in that left elbow as the right palm comes up and over the head, and maybe we gaze up towards the ceiling. A couple of breaths here. And if you want to think about that four-part breath, go for it. Just going to stay for a while here, opening up that right side body, the right part of the square, without collapsing the left side body. So if you feel that you're a little too crunched over, come up a little bit on your elbow, press in on the left hand. And on the next inhale, rise up, both arms coming up to the ceiling as the right fingertips now come down, walk their way out, bending that right elbow, reaching up and over with the left arm, gazing up at the sky, up the ceiling, maybe the elbow crease of the left arm, making sure we're not collapsing the right side body. As we inhale for a little four counts, holding at the top, exhaling, holding at the bottom. When you're ready, inhale, pressing up, both hands come up to the top. We're going to lower the hands to the front of the body, grabbing onto the knees, taking a little cat-cow here from seated position, just rolling the shoulders back, maybe jutting the chest, a little exaggeration, while the chin draws back. And maybe exhaling and pressing our back towards the back of the room, towards the back side of the mat, curling in, pelvis for a cat. One more cat in a seated position, just drawing back. Maybe the chin comes up this time, and on the exhale, drawing it back. And again, just your own breath here, whatever feels comfortable. You want to go a little quicker. You want to just slow it down. Now we're going to take the right hand and put it behind us. You can come up on your fingertips. Maybe if you are seated a little bit higher and your knees are drawn down, you can also reach for a block. You can flat hand, pressing your arm onto the block. Taking that left hand, bringing it over to the right knee, using it as leverage. We're going to inhale, sitting up nice and tall, and exhale as we slowly start to turn the torso and the shoulders and the head to overlook the right shoulder towards the back of the room, the back of your mat. And again, just holding this pose, but not holding a breath. We're going to try our 4-part breathing here, our sacred square breath, as we inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, holding at the top of the square, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, coming down the other side of the square, 3, 2, 1. Holding at the bottom between breaths, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, arms come up to the top. Exhale, coming to the other side. So the left hand is going to plant on that block or on the fingertips as we take the right hand, using that as leverage onto the left knee. Inhale, nice and tall. And on the exhale, start that turn of the torso, turn of the shoulders. I just got a nice click in my back. Felt great. And let's try that 4-part breathing as we inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding at the top, maybe imagining the shoulders drawing away from each other, 2, 1. Exhaling, coming down maybe the left side of the body, 3, 2, 1. Holding maybe right across the hips, right before we take that next inhale. And again, inhaling up, exhale, release. Pushing off any props, getting yourself into a tabletop position. I'm going to set up a block at the front of my mat. May or may not need the one at the back, but if you don't have any blocks, you can always use books or anything that you feel stable. It's going to bring you a couple inches higher in your postures. Let's just kind of rock back and forth. We did our cat-cows, but if you want to take another 1 or 2 here, this is a perfect time to do it. Just getting some momentum, feeling the stability of the 2 hands on the mat as well as the knees. I like to play with my feet, stretching out the skin, pointing the toes, flexing the toes. And then finally, when you're ready, just come into a little child's pose. So leaning back, kneeling on the heels, reaching out the arms, maybe allow the head to drop. Maybe shake the head, no. Get a little massage going on the forehead. When you're ready, just settle in for one moment as we take some of those 4-part breaths. Imagine inhaling up the right side of the body, really opening it up. 3, 2, 1. Holding at the top of the body. Still imagining that maybe your elbows and your shoulders are drawing away from each other at the top corners of the box for the hold. And on the exhale, coming down the left side of the body. 3, 2, 1. And again, imagining that hold in between breaths is perhaps the bottom of the box, your 2 knees, your 2 feet. And when you're ready on the inhale, coming up, getting back into table, making sure that all of your alignment is correct. We're going to take the left foot out to the back of the mat, toes curled under, and then lift that foot. So perpendicular to the floor, nice 90-degree angles happening. That left foot is flexed. Maybe you're up on your right toes. And really imagine, once again, that the right hip is pulling to the right, the left hip to the left. That's the bottom of your square. And the right shoulder is pulling towards the right, the left to the left, the upper corner of your square. And if you feel so inclined, maybe start to put a little pressure on that left hand as you lift up the right hand and straight in front. So the palm is facing towards your left. Fingers are spread, nice and active hand, just like an active foot. And see if you can kind of go through your breaths again, counting the sides and the tops of your box. And see if you can find that stability, even though you're technically only on a bottom right corner and a left top corner. Really stretching, really engaging the body as you go through your breath. And after that count at the bottom, releasing, coming back towards the mat. This time picking up the right foot, flexing the right foot, finding your stability. Again, maybe on the left toe. Making sure that that right hip is drawing to the right, the left hip is drawing to the left. That might all of a sudden make you switch and change your alignment just subtly. When you're ready, pressing into the right hand and allowing the left hand to come up perpendicular to the mat. Nice active fingers, active palm, straight elbow. Finding your stability, finding your square. Maybe doing your inhale up the right side. 3, 2, 1. Holding at the top. Exhale, left side. 3, 2, 1. Holding at the bottom for your count of 4. When you're ready to inhale, come back down to table. This time we're going to take our left foot out. We're going to plant it at the bottom of the mat. So the left edge of the left foot, the outer edge of the left foot is going to line up against the outer edge of the bottom of your mat. And maybe just bring your foot a little bit forward of the right knee. Choice here to either leave your right toes up on the mat, or you can flatten the top leg, flattening the top of the foot. Pressing into that right hand, we're going to be lifting the left arm up towards the sky and maybe circling it around up and over the head. That movement is going to allow the left hip to come forward for a nice stretch. Really feeling that stretch from the left toe all the way up the leg, left hip, left side body, left armpit, left elbow, all the way to the left pinky that should be facing towards the ground. A couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, come down to table. We're going to flip to the other side. So again, lifting up that right leg, planting it a little bit forward of the left knee. If you need to situate yourself, go for it. The left edge of the foot is going to have left edge contact with the bottom of the mat. Pressing into that left hand, making sure we have a nice 90-degree angle as we take that right arm up to the sky. And when you're ready, circle it up and over the head, making sure that that right pinky now is facing towards the ground, left pinky toe. Nice stretch coming up the leg now. Right calf, right hip, right side body, underarm, elbow, and release. Going to take it one more time to the side. This time we're going to lift that leg up just like we did in the beginning. Seeing if we can find our balance on the right. Keeping that leg up, the toe now is going to point forward. So your body's facing towards the left, toe is facing towards the left. Nice flex foot. Left hand comes up to the sky. Maybe you can get your gaze up there as well for a supported half moon pose or kneeling half moon pose. And if you really want to get crazy, take that left arm up and over, just like we did with the foot planted, but now it's up in the sky. Couple of breaths here. When you're ready, come down, switch sides, right foot flexed, getting your balance into that left arm, nice 90-degree angles happening. When you're feeling good, the right toe is going to point towards the right side of the room in front of you. Right arm comes up, gaze is going to come up, really kick that right heel back, engaging that right leg. And if you're ready, go for over the head. See if your gaze can come up to the sky as that right pinky draws down towards the ground. Nice perpendicular lines. Couple more breaths. Exhale, come down. When you're ready, we're just going to sink right back down into child's pose. And we're going to go through that 4-part breath, this time on your own. Notice the sensation of where the body's at now after stretching. On your next inhale, we're all going to meet in table, curling the toes under. Exhale, drawing the hips up to the sky for our first down dog. Heels are going to draw back, driving. Trying to get our muscles a little bit looser on the back of the legs. We'll be working those tonight as well. When you're ready, just settle in, take a couple of breaths. Nice and deep, parachuting that belly up towards the sky. Maybe drawing the elbow creases inward and out towards the front of the mat. Like we're opening up 2 jars, one on each hand. One jar opening, one jar closing. Feel free to take a 4-part breath or a sacred square breath here. Really enjoying this moment of inversion before we do our sun salutations. On your next inhale, we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. With our first forward fold, allow the head to drop. Knees can be bent, or if you feel more comfortable, straightening out the legs. Making the gaze up towards the thighs, allowing the head to really drop and fall. I'm keeping my fingertips active right now on the mat. If you want to just grab each elbow with each of your hands, you can do a little ragdoll. You can also place your hands behind your calves and just give a slight little pull. Nothing too stressful. Place our hands on our shins, slowly pushing up for our first halfway lift. A little mini back bend. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hands are going to come to the hips as we press up into standing pose. Allow the hands to come up to the sky. Inhale. Upward salute. Exhale, bringing the hands into prayer, Anjali Mudra, allowing the chin to drop to set an intention for the evening, maybe for the rest of the week. Maybe enjoying a nice Tadasana in your 4-part sacred square breath. Allowing the stability of the bottom of your square to be felt all throughout 4 corners of your feet. Maybe there's a square that's happening from your right heel to your left heel, coming up to the left hip, right hip. Feeling another square perhaps at the right elbow, right shoulder, left shoulder. Maybe even a square in your head, right jaw, left jaw. Maybe move it around a little bit, shake it up. Let it settle in as the bottom of your square, and imagine the right temple is the top right of the square, left temple, top left. Just imagining your face opening up and loosening as the square allows it to get into its own alignment. Inhale, arms come up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, pressing up, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees. We're going to walk the hands into our first high plank. Nice inhale here as we exhale, maybe coming into cobra. Exhaling, coming back up into down facing dog. So you can do knees, chest, chin. You can take your vinyasa however you like. You might even want to go back into a child's pose. Look our eyes towards the front of our mat between our hands. Coming up on our toes, taking that right leg up towards the sky. We're going to point that toe down towards the mat. So we're flexing our foot. And I just want you to feel for a moment a nice squaring of the hips and the shoulders as we take that right knee up towards the nose, placing the right foot between the hands. Left foot joins the right. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice shining of the chest, little back bend. Exhale, we're going to place the hands around the feet, stepping back with the left foot, back with the right. We're back in a high plank. Taking your vinyasa of choice. Knees, chest, chin, cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Up on the toes now, we're going to take that left toe up to the sky and just bring it down to a nice flex foot. We're going to exhale, bring the knee to the nose, step it in between the hands. Hopefully you were able to get a nice quick sense of your four corners of your body in that leg lift. If not, let's get it on the next round. Right foot's going to step up to meet the left. We're going to inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, picking up the speed, forward fold. Inhale, not to lose any of the four corners. Just enjoy each one of these movements, even if we're going fast. Exhale, forward fold. Now stepping the right foot back. Left foot joins the right into high plank. Come down, knees, chest, chin, however you like. Coming up for your upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Okay, we're going to try it one more time. Right foot comes up to the sky, pointing the toe down towards the mat. Really feel the engagement. You got your right hip going to the right, left to the left. Right shoulder to the right, left shoulder to the left. Knee's going to come up, stepping in between the hands. Inhale, left foot meets the right, and we're going to take our halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant. Taking that right foot back now. Left foot's going to join the right. Take it to downward dog. Coming up on the toes. Now comes up to the sky. We're going to point the toes towards the mat and just enjoy that four corners of our body. Allowing the right hip, left hip to pull apart. As we exhale, the knee's going to come. Step to the front of the mat. Right foot joins the left. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, enjoy that forward fold. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands are going to come down to our sides. Maybe taking a nice breath here, really enjoying that stability of your square. Imagining all the different parts of your body that can be a square to allow you not only to center your breathing, to balance, to find stability, but to also open you up, give you some space, give you some length. Left foot, lift the knee up, stabilizing into the right foot. Just holding it there for a moment, flex left foot. We're going to lean forward and take that left foot, send it to the back of the mat. Might have to shimmy back so we can get a nice bend in that right knee. Left heel is going to make contact with the mat. We're going to press into that right leg, right up into our first Virabhadrasana, Warrior Two. Exhale, we're going to take that left hand, come up and over for Peaceful Warrior. Couple of breaths. Not allowing that left part of the body to collapse, really opening it up. Feel free to take your 4-part breath here. Maybe you decide that your right foot is the bottom right corner of the square. Left foot is the bottom left corner. Top right corner maybe is the right elbow. Top left corner maybe is the left elbow, or it could be the left shoulder. Just allowing yourself to imagine that and to take these breaths opens the body, aligns the body, just by thinking about it, just being mindful. That's a long enough hold. We're going to exhale, coming back into Warrior Two. We're going to straighten that right leg. We're going to take the right hand, we're just slide it down the right leg, right on the shin today. If that's too uncomfortable and there's too much pressure, you can try a little micro bend in the right knee, or feel free to reach for the block, placing it on the inside of the foot. But I'm thinking about coming up a little high today. Nice strong arm on the right side as the left arm comes up for Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. And maybe taking that left hand, circling it up and over, and opening up the body. So we're sort of leaning back now. You're leaning that left shoulder towards the back. The left hip is coming forward, allowing you to really corkscrew the torso. Gazes up towards the ceiling. When you're ready, we're going to bend that right knee. Exhale, come up to 5-pointed star. Toes are pointing towards the long side of the mat here. Nice stretch. Finding that beautiful box from the right toes to the right fingertips, to the left fingertips, to the left toes. Really open up. Drawing the belly in towards the tailbone. Nice supported box here. Your torso is right at the center. Nice engagement, reaching up, breathing in, breathing out. Trying to come up the side of your box with your inhale. Arriving at the top of your box for the hold. Exhale, the whole left side of the body, opening up for 4 counts. Holding at the bottom, foot to foot, nice stability. Before we take our next inhale, transitioning immediately into Warrior Two on this side. So left toes pointing towards the back of the mat, kicking out that right heel so that the right toes are pointing up towards the right part of the back of the mat. Leaning in with that knee, getting a nice 90-degree angle before we inhale back to Peaceful Warrior. Start the process all over again. Imagining your sacred square. However you choose, maybe try a different way this time. Maybe the bottom of the box is your knees. Right knee, left knee. Maybe the top of the box is your right shoulder, left shoulder. Maybe it's your right temple, your left temple. Really enjoying this back bend pose, sinking into that left knee. And when you're ready for your inhale, we're going to come up Straightening that leg, reaching down for that left shin, allowing that left hand to come in. And I like to also turn my elbow crease out. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's just like we do in downward dog, like we're turning a jar. So it allows that elbow crease to come forward, taking the pressure off of the shoulder as the arm rises up. Nice, Utthita Trikonasana. And if you're ready, swooping the arm, really trusting in yourself, leaning back, jutting that right hip forward. And I'm going to show you from the side just so you can see the exaggeration. So we're in on the shin. My left heel is lined up with my back left heel somewhat. And I'm taking that right hip. I'm almost drawing it forward. I'm really exaggerating here to show you. As this arm comes up, I'm leaning back into the pose. When it comes around, I'm really opening up the chest towards the ceiling. Nice back bend. And the whole corkscrew happens here. When you're ready, coming out of that pose by bending your knee, coming up right back into your five-pointed star. Taking the hands to the hips now, we're going to go into our forward fold. Toes are going to still stay forward as we slowly hinge forward, allowing the chest to draw forward, allowing the crown of the head to pull forward. As we then come into our fold, take it however you will. If you want to do a headstand, if you want to just hang out, you want to just rock back and forth with the knees. Sometimes I like to go a little bit lower on the left knee, and then I bring up those right toes right up to the sky. Nice opening up there happening. Go to the other side. And just taking it easy. Letting the breath just settle down a little bit before we go for round 2 of our flow. If you're in a headstand or an inversion, you want to start to slowly come out of that. Pressing up, allowing yourself to just kind of have a halfway lift here from the forward fold. On the inhale, exhale, forward fold one more time. And on the inhale, see if you can just get those arms right back up into five-pointed star. We're going to kick that left heel back, right toes to the front, bending in, coming into our warrior 2. Peaceful warrior. Straightening the leg, coming into our triangle pose. Coming up and over the head, really leaning back. Exhale, bending the knee, sweeping forward, coming into our five-pointed star. Taking it to the back of the mat now, same way we came in, warrior 2, peaceful warrior. Bringing it over, hinging, triangle pose. Maybe sweeping that arm for one last back bend here, which is a standing back bend. Exhale, bending the knee, sweeping forward, coming back up for our five-pointed star. Now we're going to hop to the center of the mat. Turn towards the front of the mat. The left foot up, just like we did to get into our warrior 2 pose, except here we're just going to bring it straight back, spreading out the feet, right toes pointing towards the right, left toes pointing towards the left. Leaning in, arms are going to sweep up for our warrior 1. Maybe we get a nice back bend here as we lift up. Check your square.
Inhaling for 4 up the right side of the body.
Holding up the top for 4. Exhaling down the left side. Holding at the bottom for 4. When you're ready to inhale, we're going to take one last back bend back. And exhale, we're going to press off of that back left foot coming into warrior three. So arms are out in front, pressing in on the right foot. The left foot is flexed as if you have a wall behind you and you're standing on it. Arms are out. Couple of breaths, really stretching the head. The gaze is about a foot in front of your face on the floor. And when you're ready, exhale slowly, left foot goes back down, coming into warrior one. Hands come into Anjali Mudra. I'm going to ask you to just curl your feet out so that you get a nice stretch here. We're going to take the left elbow. We're going to put it on the outside of the left knee. The heel is going to come up on the left side. For our twist, pressing into the hands, palms pressing, giving nice leverage against that left knee, the right knee. Left knee is actually engaged. Back of that knee moving up towards the ceiling. Gaze can also be towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, exhale, coming up into 5-pointed star as we go to the back of the mat now. So the left toes are going to face the left part of the mat. The right toes, we're going to just shimmy around so that we're on those railroad tracks for our warrior one. So we get nice and bent into the left knee. My right foot, for some reason, my right ankle is feeling really stiff. I'm going to adjust a little bit more. I might not get as far in my bend tonight on the left side. We're always different on each side. But I feel this square breathing and this understanding of the square really allows me to feel into my body. Inhale, arms are going to come up for that warrior one. Nice back bend. Try the inhale, maybe coming up the left side of the body this time. Holding at the top. 3, 2, 1. Exhaling. Other side of the body. 3, 2, 1. Holding at the bottom. On the next inhale, we're going to just lift up a little bit higher. And on the exhale, pressing into that left foot, lifting the right, toes pointed, really engaged. Head's going to come down, looking about a foot in front. Really get some height in that right heel towards the ceiling. Arms stretching out in front for Virabhadrasana 3, warrior 3. Couple of breaths. When you're ready, inhale, placing that foot slowly behind you, getting into your warrior one. Again, we want to get our knee really bent here, so we're going to lift up on the toes of the right foot, the balls of the foot. The heel's going to come up. Hands are going to come into Anjali Mudra, prayer. Taking that right elbow, wrapping it around. Wrapping it around the left outer knee, pressing into the palms. Feeling the twist, maybe the gaze comes up towards the ceiling or the upper left corner of the room. Really engaging that right kneecap to lift towards the sky. Pressing into the palms, allowing that nice release of toxins in your twist. And when you're ready, hands are going to come down. We're going to actually walk our way into that wide leg forward fold. Hands come to the hips as we rise. Jump one more time to the center. And let's just take a nice chair pose, a nice little neutralizing of the spine after our twists. So we're going to sink in as if we're sitting on a chair. I like to get my feet as close together as possible as my knees draw forward. Let me show you a little side angle here. So, that's really cute. I can see in the camera, it looks like I'm sitting on my cushions. It's great to have good visuals nearby. We're going to inhale, and the arms are going to come forward as we really sit down in our chair. Beautiful. Maybe do that little square imagination. Maybe the square is the soles of your feet. Maybe it's your hips and shoulders. Maybe it's your shoulders and wrists. Maybe it's your head because you're finding tension in your face. because it's terrible to hold chair this long. Inhale, stand up, nice back bend. Oh, exhale, arms come down. We can try a little eagle pose in our chair now. I like to take a block. Balancing for me in this pose is just really difficult. I think it's because I have thick thighs. At least that's the excuse I use as to why I can't get my foot to wrap around my calf while it's bent. So the idea is to get back into your chair, to lift that right knee as high as you can, crossing it over the left knee. I like to place mine on the block like you can see. Otherwise, you can try to circle your ankle around your left calf. We take the right arm, we put it under the left. We try to intertwine those fingers, those hands, lifting the elbows up. Eagle pose. We're really concentrating on the crease in front of us. And when I say concentrate, you're actually supposed to kind of look through, as if you could look through your arms. Lifting the elbows, opening up the back body, and then exhaling, releasing. Switching over the block, shaking it out. Coming back into chair, taking that left knee up now, crossing it over, leaning in, really sitting, squeezing the legs together, taking the left arm now, putting it under the right, taking those fingertips, holding it onto the palm, allows some nice leverage and then gives you that lift. If you want to think about your square, maybe your 1 foot is a square. Maybe your arms, your elbows, your fingertips drawing away and towards each other. Some kind of funky square. And when you're ready, shaking it out, winding it down. I'm going to invite you to come out the way we came in. So sitting on your mat, going to extend our legs. Probably easier if I do it this way. Extending our legs, toes are coming up towards the ceiling, hands are planting down. And I just want you to give a nice little press here in Dandasana pose. Just a nice little press into the palms, allowing the chest to lift. Maybe drawing the belly in. You can give a little micro bend in your knees by just drawing your heels back. Maybe closing the eyes here. Imagining your sacred square, trying to catch your breath, slowly inhaling. Maybe the front body is the front of your square, your cube. Holding at the top. 3, 2, 1. Exhaling down the whole back body. Wow. That just made me, like, I think, grow 2 inches just by imagining that exhale, even though it's a release. It just brought attention to it. Nice holding at the bottom of your cube, box, or square. And when you're ready, the next inhale, the arms are going to come up nice and tall. We're going to exhale, folding, reaching over past the toes, allowing the head to drop. Try not grabbing onto the feet as if you're pulling yourself into your fold. Just allow it to happen naturally. And for you guys who have practiced at home with me before, I love the idea of taking a cushion, really burying it into the hip sockets there, the front hip crease, and just rolling over that. Oh, so good. And just allowing the arms to relax. That is a forward fold. Just breathing into that. And maybe with each breath, you almost imagine a wave is happening. So on the inhale, the back rises. And on the exhale, we wave forward. And maybe we inhale, another back rise, and exhale, we wave forward. And suddenly we notice, oh, I got a little bit lower in my fold. allowing the body to settle in, calming it down. When you're ready, walk the hands back into a seated position. One last press. Before we take the insides of our knees, we open them up for Baddha Konasana. So we're going to be in a butterfly pose here. We're going to try the same thing. Another great option, if you're at home, you can put little cushions or blocks underneath your knees. The idea is not so much to open up the groin as it is to allow the back to lengthen on the inhale and fold over on the exhale. Your feet can be closer to the body if that's comfortable. Your feet can be further away if you're feeling a little discomfort with them too close. And again, you can try that wave motion of inhaling, lengthening the body, exhaling, waving it forward. I like to hold on to my toes. I'm not really pushing on them, but they start to get cooler as you get toward the end of the practice. I just like to give my toes a little love. And again, you can put a cushion here. You can put a blanket under your belly. You could even put a blanket between your feet and your head if you're not making contact. Sometimes just a fist will be enough to make the contact between your toes and your forehead. And personally, this is one of my favorite folds. Slowly rising up, bringing the knees together, allowing the legs one last time to come into Dandasana pose, nice little press up, broadening the shoulders, opening the hips one last time. When you're ready, if you have any props you'd like to use for Shavasana, bring it on. I like to take my blocks sometimes and put them right behind my thighs. It just gives me a nice little release on my back. And let's do a little core challenge as we slowly exhale, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming down till we finally land on the mat. If you want to shut your lights off or make any little final adjustments, be my guest. Taking a nice deep cleansing breath in. Maybe the arms come up overhead. A little stretch happening, pointing the toes and just releasing. Exhale. Letting the arms come to the sides. If you want to take another big inhale, go for it. Allowing the palms to come up towards the sky. Couple more breaths. And then just one last time, imagine coming into that 4-part breath on the back body. So inhaling up the side, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling after the count of 4. Holding before the next inhale for the count of 4. Drawing out your square maybe from the heels, the bottom of the square, to the right and left ears, top of the square. And you can continue on in your Shavasana with this breathing, or you can just release, let go. let thoughts just come and acknowledge them, maybe at the front of your square, and then exhale, allow them to pass through. Releasing the feet, backs of the legs, releasing the hips, releasing the backbone, the back rib cage. Feeling the release now under the armpits, down the shoulders, back of the neck, back of the head, all releasing. Coming around the crown of the head as it releases, noticing how the forehead starts to release, eyebrows, earlobes, eye sockets, cheekbones releasing, nose, lips, jawline releasing, all down. Once again, allowing the collarbone to press down, perhaps on the exhale, really emptying out the air from the lungs as the ribs draw down and back. Upper arms, elbows, backs of hands, release. Lower front rib cage and the belly begins to release as well. Maybe feeling the press of the navel drawing towards the spine on your exhale. And feeling the release. Front hip points drawing back and down. Tops of thighs, kneecaps, shin. All becoming very heavy. As the ankle loosens, tops of the foot going down, finally the toes, maybe splaying out just a little bit more. Little micro movements of release start to happen. Making sure that the tongue is not pressed up against the roof of the mouth, it's just sort of laying loose. As we take a few more breaths in our Shavasana. Start to allow some movement to come back into the fingertips and toes. Little wiggling, little subtle movements as we rotate the ankles and the wrists. Even the knees start to bend as the feet plant on the ground, elbows bending as well. Maybe just one last reach up above our heads. Nice inhale. Exhale. Hands come down to the sides as we shift our hips over, coming on to maybe the right side of the body, if that feels comfortable for you. If not, the left is fine. I like to take my bricks at this point that have been underneath my thighs. And I like to put one right between my knees. I put one in front of me to just brace me. I take my right hand. I just support my head just for a moment in fetal position. Imagining all the four corners in our body supported, somewhat relaxed, but still in alignment. When you're ready, pressing into the left or the top hand if you're on the left side. Coming back into seated position, feel free to cushion your backside, maybe keeping the eyes closed, supporting the knees in your cross-legged Sukhasana, easy pose. And just allowing the chin to drop. Hands around the knees as we take a nice deep breath in together. Long exhale out. One more in. One more out. Maybe bringing the hands to prayer or hand over heart. Keeping the chin down and just thanking yourself for coming to your practice. I certainly thank you for joining me tonight. Bring the hands together and allow the thumb knuckles to connect to the third eye, which is right located between the eyebrows. Sealing in whatever intention you set earlier in the practice, in your Tadasana, in your sacred square. And bowing. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Take care.
Darling, darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.